came into music? Did your parents bought you an instrument, or do you went to musical school, or do you hear some records?
My introduction was actually my younger brother picked up guitar before I did, and then he quit. So I just decided.
Chad play guitar?
Yeah, for a second.
Are you kidding me?
Millisecond, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine was like, I grew up playing clarinet in the school band and stuff like that, and then got into 80s hair metal and, glam rock and stuff like that, and I thought that stuff was cool. And then, then I got into metal music and post-hardcore and shit like that, and that's when I was like, all right, I want to start a band. We didn't really have much going on in our small town, so music was our escape to just get out of just not doing anything. We're like, let's make noise, let's party.
Cool. So how did you then find each other and form Papa Roach?
I got with our ex-drummer, we started making noise, then I was friends with Jerry's ex-girlfriend, and I was like, kept calling him, I'm like, dude, come jam with us. He's like, no, and I'm like, come on, please, no, pretty please, all right. And that's how we started the band.
Yep.
And the rest is history.
What were your expectations at this time? Do you ever already have some
expectations at this time?
We were just doing it for fun.
Yeah, it was just fun. We're like, how Green Day was. They were just a band that just started in a garage making noise. That's what we did. Started in a garage making noise, and then it just started playing like the teen center and backyard parties and shit like that, and bars and small clubs, and then we started taking it a little bit more seriously. Started releasing our own music independently, selling it out, at school, selling it at college, and then we just became like a local band that people really loved, and kept releasing music and sending it to record companies, and they always told us, no, we don't believe in it. And we're like, well, fuck, we're playing in front of 700 kids, so this is real. And we kept doing that until we just made enough noise to get recognized, and then put out Infest, our first major label record, and just exploded on the scene. Yeah, so it's like a 7-year overnight success.
Cool. But before that, you released a record called Old Friends from Young Years.
Yeah, that was our first full length.
Yeah, but it gained huge attention also by the labels because it was played so much at the college radios.
Well, not really, man. It was like, for us at that point in time, it was like we were sending it to, what was I, like, Metal Blade,
independent
and
labels,
independent metal labels, and they were like, you're not metal enough. And we're like, all right, well, that's fine, we don't give a fuck, we're gonna do what we do, and but it wasn't until like Let 'Em Know and 5 Tracks Deep and Let 'Em Know that we really started to get some recognition from the industry. And we were going down and playing in Hollywood at the Troubadour, doing free Monday nights, and started getting a fan base in Los Angeles and started to make a buzz. Then we got signed with DreamWorks. After every record company in the business told us no, we still got a deal.
Isn't it usual DreamWorks is a film company?
It was a record company for a while.
Okay.
It was the guys, Lenny Waronker and Mo Austin, who started Warner Brothers, who signed like Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin. Mm-hmm. No, Led Zeppelin was on Atlantic.
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix, just some legendary rock bands. And then they left Warner Brothers and started this new record company. So they were like innovators of rock. And it was a record company for 5 years, 5 or 8 years.
5, yeah.
Yeah, and then it was part of Universal. So once it was gone, we just went to Universal. But now we're independent again. Yes.
And then you had this really huge success then.
Yeah.
You ever thought about the other labels which always drag you down and say, no, I told you so?
Well, I mean, there's a little bit of that, but we just focus on what we're doing, what we're doing now, and what we're doing next. Yeah,
our motivation wasn't to like fuck the naysayers. No. Our motivation was like, fuck, we're doing it, man. We have the opportunity to be heard, worldwide. That's what it was all about, and we did that. Got heard worldwide and traveled around the world, and that was a pretty crazy time for our band as well, because we started, we were just in a van driving around America, and the next thing you know, we're on a fucking jet going to Europe, playing festivals and blah blah blah. Like, it was wild.
Cool.
Ba, ba, ba.
Let's switch the topics. I think you recorded your album The Paramore Session on a quite scary place. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, there was some energy at the Paramore. It was
Paranormal activity.
definitely some paranormal activity. I didn't experience quite as much as Jacoby or our extra drummer Dave, but
Part of it was in my head though, because this one
that's
time
true. Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my God, it's a ghost!" And it was like my friend downstairs shutting his curtains in his room. So, but it was a really great place for creativity. We went there, and it was all the old art, and it was just a really just inspiring house. We got in there, and it was like 50-foot ceilings, and it was like we were living the rock and roll dream. And that was just we went there, and we were just mad creative, like, for a few months. And at the end of the project, our management had to come there, and they're like, "You gotta go, leave. It's time to get out of here." We're like, "No, we can't leave." Yeah, it was a fun time. Inspired a lot of creativity, a lot of music.
So musicians today can record music also easily on GarageBand or even on smartphones. Do you think those studios are obsolete in 10 years?
Well, I mean, I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think studios will be around for quite a while.
I mean, you can do a record in your house or in a garage, but who wants to really? You know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things where a studio, I mean, it doesn't have to have all the ridiculous amount of equipment that we think of when we think of a studio, but it needs to be a place where people can go and get together and
Get
make
creative.
music, you know what I mean? Not just one guy at a time
In your bedroom
sitting in front of
plugging
a
in.
computer, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that would make me crazy.
So, why do you think Jacoby MTV shows so much shows today and don't show any music videos?
Why do I think? I don't know. I guess the taste of popular culture has changed, and the internet has dramatically shifted the way people view music. It's like, all right, cool, it's not on TV, but if you go on the internet and just click, you could see your favorite band live. You could see them, their music videos. You could see interviews and stuff like that. So the internet is really where people are going for their music nowadays, and and some of the programming on the channels of MTV is just shitty, just shite.
I think it has a lot more to do with, I just remember me personally watching MTV late at night, like Headbangers Ball,
or 120 minutes,
and waiting to see something that you wanted to see. It's like all these bands that I didn't really care about, waiting to see something good. And now people don't have to do that. They just go to what they want, and that's it.
Point and click.
I think that has a lot to do with the fact that, it's just the society that we live in now is so much instant gratification that the internet affords people that, they don't have to wait for their video to come on. It's just there.
I want it on. I want it now.
And then only 15 seconds, and
Yeah.
then click to the other.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's back. Have you guys ever took part in something like a band contest?
Our first performance as a noise making organization was our high school talent show, and we were horrible. We totally were just bad. But it was it was just kids just getting together and making noise and having fun.
So there's nothing negativity about band contests. It's just the opportunity to play.
Fuck yeah, man! Anytime we could put our equipment on stage and get loud, we were there. That's what it was about.
Didn't matter where it was.
Yeah, fucking did not matter. Literally.
Living room.
Fucking
Gas-
backyard party, gas station, whatever. We'll get loud.
So can you remember like we said before, your first ever live gig? Are there any anecdotes about that?
I would say like the first shows under our belts, like at the community center, those were like the beginnings of what we did. It's so long ago, I can't even remember how I felt.
Yeah.
I was just so excited, I probably threw up. I was like, yeah, we're gonna get on stage. All right, cool, let's go.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yep. That downstairs
Yeah.
dressing room.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much.
Right
That was
on, man.
cool.
Nice
Yeah.
speaking with you.
Thank you.